Welcome back. We are here for the Between Secrets in Lavender, episode 7. We enter in this episode with a scene in a different part of the city.
You can see it's early morning. There's still some fog from the river, and out of the fog comes a coach. This is a very serious coach, a heavy coach. The wheels reinforced with iron. The horses, they're not war horses. You don't use them anymore, but if you did, these would be. They're big and they've seen shit. You can tell by their look. The driver of the coach is a heavyset man, scars on his face. His right arm, the front arm is missing, his right hand. He has a hook, not a sharp hook, not a pointed hook, a heavy hook. A hook meant to do things, a tool. The coach stops near a church. The door opens and out steps a man. You have seen that first mask of Mordecai. You might recognize him. It's the same man, the older man. He's still a little older, but not like 30 years have passed, nothing like that. His hair is white now, and he's lost a little weight, but that's it. He's dressed like a gentleman, like a very elegant gentleman. He's good looking. You wouldn't think much about him unless you would pay very close attention to the tie holder he wears. And there are runes on that. And the ring he wears, that bears a very complicated looking seal of Solomon. And you can't see the tattoos on his body because he's very well dressed. Following him, a younger man who looks at him, also very well dressed, who looks at him like a student, adoring student looking at their mentor, or an adoring son looking at their critical father. He's not old, he's very young, very light-skinned, his hair is so pale that you can almost see the tattoos on his skull between the strands of hair. He's also wearing jewelry with occult symbols. And and he's not as perfectly dressed, so you can also see the tattoos on his forearm, and the sleeve slightly loses cohesion. The last person coming out is a woman. She is broad-shouldered. She looks strong as she moves out of the coach. She's wearing a dress, it fits physically, but the vibe is sort of wrong. It is a nice dress. It is a practical dress, but still, this woman does not look like she belongs in the dress. She's dark-skinned. Her eyes are light, and maybe they're green or violet or blue, something. That the eyes don't really fit the face. She takes the position of some sort of a bodyguard. The oldest man is clearly the leader. And he looks around and says to the young man, well, it seems like we are in the right place. We will find him, and then we will have a talk. Yeah, that's it.
And a talk we will have. But that is for another time, because we will speed back to our hunters of Hargrave House, where they are in their respective places. When last we saw them, if I recall correctly, we had Ellie and Felix in Limehouse, and we had Mordecai in Miswell Hill. So, if we can just set everyone's positions from where they were, then we can commence with the remainder of day phase and go on from there. So, where is everyone? Or what would you like to do next after finishing what you had been doing? And if you need a recollection, I can totally give that to you.
I was talking to the purveyor, right?
You were talking to the surveyor,
Yeah.
Hans.
Yeah.
Specifically, his name was Hans Teufel, I believe. Hans Teufels. Yes.
Oh, okay. Is that, wow, okay. Mordecai knows German. He knows what Teufels means.
Uh-huh. 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 Yes.
That
He
will
has
do.
spoken with the working men here. I mean, he's basically what, as he's talking to you, like he'll tell you, like after he, takes you like out of your trance or whatever, and then like, he's talking with you. He'll tell you that he's been in London to compile a survey of the conditions of the working class in England, and he's been to the
And
Chartists' den.
mhm,
So, like, yeah, he's talked with them to tell their tales of despair for his
yeah.
manifesto. So
And I saw what was he, a deacon or something? I saw him this off in the past, right?
you saw the vision of the Reverend Casavan like turning
Oh
into a
yeah.
pile of goo, like
Yeah,
in
that
his
was
clothes.
interesting.
That's what you saw. But you also
And
caught the vision of the djinn,
mhm,
the
mhm,
djinn, like kind of like off to the side.
mhm,
So that was the clue that you were
mhm.
finding as
Okay.
well.
And I also incurred the attention of the miasma because it was starting to pull around, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Hans had kind of like
Yeah.
gotten your attention to move you out of the way.
Yeah. Yes, yes, we were moving away from the miasma. But I wonder if I could catch a whiff of it in some kind of bottle or something so I can make some experiments with that.
I think, let's see.
Oh, that's what I was looking for, to see if I have something that
Let's
I
see.
could
I forgot what you
use.
got. Let me check to see what you got last time for
Mm-hmm.
your clue. I mean, let's see. Mordecai. Oh, you had to. Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
why
I
you
had
had
the,
to bring in the Coven, because you had to bump it up to 7 to 9.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think, because you had only gotten a 7 to 9, it's like I
Mm-hmm.
can't really let you get the whiff in a bottle. Sorry.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I need. I think what I want to have. I still want to have a sample for some for this.
I mean, you're welcome to, because you had done your
And
rites of salt and smoke. You're welcome to
mm,
do a different move. You're welcome to do an
mm,
information move to see if you can
uh-huh.
get like something more physical, like
Yeah,
more, yeah, yeah.
that's what I would like to do.
So information
And
move with reason, because you're actually
yeah,
like looking for physical signs here.
yes, yes. Okay, I can do that once I find the dice roller. Of course, there it is.
Yep.
And reason. What's my reason? 2, I think. Yes, my reason is 2. Nope. I still need to change the name. Sorry. It's a 10.
Oh, good. Okay. Fantastic. All right. With that 10, so many good clues on this one for sure. And you're looking specifically for like, some physical evidence of the
Maybe ask myself, like
yeah.
if I can, we can split this a little and have me gather the, whatever it is, the fog,
Mm-hmm.
because fog is made of moisture, right?
Yeah,
So maybe I can
exactly.
catch it. Oh no, I love my coat, but I
Do
could.
you do you
Oh, I will gather it with my parasol.
Oh, wow, okay, great. Okay. I was going to ask you how are you actually capturing it? Okay.
I mean, I actually like the fog because no sunlight, but I will use my parasol to catch it.
Okay.
And then I would take it to Hargrave House, back to Hargrave House to do a, I don't know, to look at it closer. Like, what does it do? What does it burn? Why does it burn that? And where? And is it magical or not?
Sort of the whole Sherlock Holmes like
Yeah.
beaker chemistry
Yeah,
Yes.
set.
like you do the
Yes.
whole like, testing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe this is where you start teaching your apprentice. It's like, all the
Yes.
fun stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I would. Can we move to someone else and make that a scene, because I would like to see how Mordecai and Laura interact.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let me just give you a clue
Cool.
first.
Cool.
before I do that.
Mhm.
Okay. I think as you're capturing like the remainder of the miasma, the gases, like with your parasol, I think you'll notice that this is part of this is the clue itself. I'm gonna post this. Hold on. Okay, good. All right. So then I think as you're capturing the gas with your parasol, like kind of, closing it up and whatever, I think you'll notice that you see a prismatic rainbow sheen
Oh.
on the filthy waters running through the rookery.
Mm.
And
Oh, great.
that looks very odd. Something very beautiful, but like, holy crap, what? Um, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you have
Cool.
something that you can sample that you can bring back
Okay.
to Hargrave
Cool.
House. Although now
Thank you.
you're exposed to the sun, so it would behoove you to rush home.
Oh
So,
yes, yes. I will take it. I will take a pram or whatever these things.
yeah,
The coach.
exactly, exactly. So, like, you'll hurry away with a cab,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Um,
Yeah.
and
I think I get a little sunburn, but not too much.
yeah, okay. All right, cool. All right, so now, who's next? So, um, Felix, you're still over at the Limehouse School talking with
I think, yeah,
Mr. Chesterfield about opportunities, or are you done with the school for now?
I think we're done with the school for now.
Okay.
If you wanted to compare notes, Ellie, we could. Otherwise, he was probably going to go back to the Dog and Whistle and ask about the sailor, who we haven't gotten any information about.
Yeah, I was planning to go to Jenny's and actually take a look at the bodies, since none of us have done that yet.
That's so funny. Okay, so Felix's Dog and Whistle, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they know you there. Okay, great. Okay, so Dog and Whistle. So just so you guys know, there is the records tab in the character keeper, which has a places doodad, and that's for you guys to just start putting in notes, especially when we do paint the scenes and such, because I don't believe we actually got a chance to do paint the scene on the Dog and Whistle, which is such a shame because that is such a great place to do a um, paint the scene.
Actually,
So,
I think we did, because we talked about the eclectic decor and the tar
okay.
stains on the floor, and
Yeah, because that's like I didn't see it, so I was just like, did we do
yeah,
it?
we
Because
didn't
I
we didn't
didn't
actually
see
write
it.
it in. We
Okay.
didn't write it down, but we did
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, I mean, yeah. So just recalling all the fun fixtures and oh yeah, that's right. Like, where's the whistle? Right. So I mean, like, if you recall like the fun decor and the people here, then great. But yeah, they know you here, and maybe the bartender is feeling, you know, um, feeling fine. It's like welcomes you with almost open arms if you let them. If not, then they'll just greet you with a full mug, and then yeah,
We won't stand on ceremony. Guy wants a hug, give him a hug. Why not?
sure, okay, and yeah, it's like where would you like to sit, Mr. Ocasio? Your usual spot,
Of course.
and shows you beneficently to your spot as usual, so you can see the entire room, like who's here, who's hanging out, that sort of thing.
Who knows the most here? I asked the bartender.
He kind of looks around, like for the clientele. I mean, like, yeah, it's getting late in the day, and looks like, well, there's the usual people now. You see, there's a woman, and she didn't necessarily partake of any of the games that you had set up like before when you had that poor schlub casing, here.
Yeah.
But she was a regular. She kind of kept to herself in the corner, and she was wrapped in a blanket, like kind of like would complain about the cold. And then like there's a sailor who the bartender will point out as like, yeah, that one, Lin Bohai, comes in quite often, but he's actually a shipmate of one of the ones that had gotten killed.
Perfect. You may bring him to the table. Offer him any drink that he desires.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. And he kind of like backs away and then bows to you, and he'll bring he'll talk to Lin Bohai and like bring him over. Lin Bohai has like a very handsome grin, and when he brings him over, like you see he's wearing the dingy sailor's whites and very briny smell, of course, because docks and stuff, and quite quite a handsome man, and just you will say it's like you wanted to see me.
Of course, take a seat. I'm here simply to ask a couple of questions, have a friendly game. I trust you've been having wonderful luck.
Well, I really hadn't had a chance to play much. I did do some dice before when you were here. It was
I'm
fun.
gonna wave a couple of the other sailors who have been doing quite well over to the table and start dealing out some cards. Just a nice casual game.
I'm going to sail in a week. I wanted to find out what happened to Zhao before I
I'm
left.
interested in what happened to Zhao as well. What have you found?
Only a horrible thing had happened to him. He just kind of like sinks into his cup a little bit, and gets a little bit morose. As people like set cards like in front of him and such.
Yeah. Were you friends?
Yes, yes. We had shipped together on several trips, and he had good times. He was very happy to go back and forth and send money home. And
Oh,
no,
to who?
he wouldn't say. He said he was just building that fortune, I think. I guess that was a dream of his.
We all have our dreams, and we just need an opportunity to seize them, don't we? And everyone will reveal their hands, and surprisingly, he's won the hand.
Oh,
A lovely chunk of change to help you before you sail away, wouldn't you say?
yes. Oh. And he just kind of like, he just looks so surprised that he's like, able to kind of like pull the chips in, and then he just like takes like a tentative drink of his mug and just like amazed that he actually won, So, oh. And then just, yeah, he just kind of gets a reminiscent look on his face of like, thinking about Zhao Donghai.
Is there a way I could parlay into an information move? Or do you need something more?
No, I mean, like, if you kind of like get him into like, a question about like, saying like asking about like, his friend, he'll probably give you stuff,
Yeah. Tell me about the man that was Zhao. Tell me his character. You sailed for so long, seen so many distant horizons.
Always in the mood for opportunity. That's why he wanted to sail. That's why he wanted to travel. Wanted to see different places, and never the same thing if we could help it. And he wanted to build that time to see the world before, and he stops.
There it is. That treasure, that hidden secret. Why do you hesitate?
Not my dream. Not my secret to tell.
Oh, it's your secret now. Are you worried about offending the dead man?
Maybe. Or maybe I will take on his burden until I can secure its place and fulfill its promise.
And I'll look down at the lovely pile of chips. So are you satisfied with what you have? Or do you want to use this opportunity to seize more?
I wasn't even expecting this. I think this will go towards helping. And he stops again.
We're not looking to help. You're not looking for just enough, are you? You're someone who seizes opportunity, who also went to that distant horizon to see different venues, cities, climates.
But if
this is enough, then go and be about your merry way. Struggle and scrape by as much as you can. I'm sure it'll work out. Somehow. In a couple of decades. But the opportunity is before you, here, now. Seize that chance.
And he just has this stricken look on his face, like he's not sure what to do. Interesting. I mean, if you want to do the info move now,
I would like to do the info move. I would like to do the info move now with presence, if you please.
Absolutely.
And the wager is simple: material wealth for a secret. And I would like to use the pair of outsized 6-side dice made of gemstones that bear my likeness as we wager, just kind of using force of personality to distract from whatever loaded dice or other cheats that I'm putting together for this.
Interesting. Huh. Okay.
Would you allow this?
Sure. I mean, so basically you're kind of like using them as a kind of like cue, like a sound cue or a visual cue of like offering and...
Well, I'm goading him into engaging with me in a bet.
I see.
A simple, friendly wager that me, as I'm talking and distracting and everything else, surely am not cheating. I'm above such things.
I see.
Right?
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, 3d6 plus 3. I'll take it. That is a 14.
Jesus H. Christmas. Okay.
Mastermind clue.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Let me give this to you first. I'm going to be weaving something in here. So say your offer again. What are you trying to do with
He's
him?
going on about, this is plenty of money to get me started in terms of achieving whatever this secret thing is. And Felix is trying to goad him. Well, say what it is that you're aiming for. Just say it outright, and surely the dice will fall your way, the cards will come out just right, and you can get all the money you could ever want. All you have to do is betray the trust of this guy that you went years and years along with. Or you could just walk away, take the money that you have, that you won fair and square, and continue to struggle as a sailor. Hard, rough life, but respect the memory of this person that he sailed with, the dead man.
Now I have to check the thing to see like what kind of clues that I'd given you already. So difficult. Sorry. I'm gonna have to figure this one out because this is really interesting. Sorry, because of like the combination of the masterminding and also the way you're proposing this particular bargain / bet. So I'm gonna go over to Ellie and then I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay.
The resolution of this should be interesting. Okay. All right. So Ellie, you just finished with Rory Bell. Where are you going after the docks?
I'm going to Jenny Johnston's.
Okay. And I think, just for say, I think on your way to Jenny's, you see somebody in the tall constable's hat, broad-shouldered, neatly pressed uniform. He's got the wooden truncheon at his hip, and, he's walking the beat, basically. It's Police Constable Lansing. He is striding, excuse me. He's striding with purpose. He's again walking the beat like he would, and he's not he doesn't look like he's heading anywhere in particular. He's just again going up and down the street and just checking things out just to make sure that there's nothing untoward going on. At the moment, it doesn't look like he's heard about the bodies. Like,
good.
Yeah. But you've spotted him, so you have a beat on him if you need to. Okay.
I wonder if my time might be better spent shadowing him than looking at the bodies. Looking at the bodies that's more a thing for somebody like Mordecai. I don't analyze corpses. I don't do forensics. Not my thing. But I might as well get in on the giving the constable grief. Hargrave House bonding exercise.
Oh my goodness. Okay. How do you trail Constable Lansing then? I mean, well, okay, first off, wait. Are you aware of the plot to hunt Constable Lansing? Like, to troll Constable Lansing? Are you aware of that plot in the house? Or are you just kind of like, oh, he looks interesting. Like, let me just kind of stalk him.
I'm trying to think what the more interesting answer is, because on screen I haven't participated in any conversations about him. I think I've heard some dropped comments by Mordecai we haven't discussed, but I think I know that he's taken an interest in the constable.
Okay. But do you know of that?
I don't think personally? I know. I don't know about the plotting against.
Okay. Got it.
Got it. Okay. But I think I want to see since this is his beat.
Yeah.
And there have been murders on his beat. Admittedly, people are deliberately keeping information from him. But if he's anything like a skilled police officer, he should know that something is up.
Yeah. Sure.
and I want to. I think my plan is to follow him on his rounds for a few blocks.
Sure.
Uh, if he doesn't notice and confront me, then I will openly go and talk to him.
Okay. Got
But
it.
my initial intent is to just see what he's up to, see whether he's just walking the beat, whether he's paying attention to things, whether he's stopping to talk to people,
Yeah.
see what he's doing.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. All right. So, I'm gonna say, go ahead and, just in your trailing of him, your stalking of him, go ahead and make an information move with composure. Let's see how successful you are in doing this.
Okay. 7. Okay. That's I will let that stand. We'll see how that goes.
Sure, 7. Okay. Let's see. So you do get a clue for this. This will be easier than Felix is 14. Jesus H. Christ. So he's again like tall, broad-shouldered man, like kind of like youngish man, like in his like 30s or whatever, and he's walking the beat, and he's like kind of like observing people, and he's walking with purpose. But then like down this one alleyway that or this one like thoroughfare that he's walking down, there seems to be some sort of disturbance, and he immediately goes like goes down to find out what's going on. And it turns out that like somehow that there's some kind of like cart or some kind of conveyance that has been like broken down, and it's at a very odd angle. And then you like from your vantage point from behind him, you realize why. And it looks like it's like broken down on one side, like like an axle broke or something like that. And the stuff is spilled out into the alley, like from the cart, and he's basically making efforts with the people involved to just try to clear the place as much as possible. So like he's working with them. I mean, like he's directing them. Like he's how's the word? He's being efficient. He's being direct, but he's also being considerate. So he's doing his job, but he's also again being very considerate of the people here in Limehouse, and they know him. Like they're giving him some deference. They're not treating him like, oh, it's a Bobby, and like like they're not treating him like a like, oh, it's a it's a cop or whatever. I mean, like they seem to be giving him some modicum of respect, like for him helping them. And he's actually pitching in, and he's actually helping to, move stuff from the cart, or he's actually helping to, like to move like the cart out of the way with some of the other workers. And when you notice this, hold on. One of the weird things about this cart is that the wheels are all marked with some strange what's the word? Oh God. Spokes. I'm sorry. I don't know like wheel vocabulary. Sorry. So the spokes aren't plain spokes. They look like the radials of a sun. They're very special wheels. And so, like, the clue itself is like a passage hallway or a thoroughfare that has been made unreachable by the sun. So, But yeah, Constable Lansing has been like rolled up his sleeves and helping to move the cart and all the junk out of the way. And I think for your 7, after all that's said and done, I think what happens is, he puts his hat back on, rolls down his sleeves, continues his beat, and he makes as if he's going to continue onward, but then he will suddenly turn around, and then he'll approach you, Ellie, said, "So, were you going to explain to me why you've been following me?"
Evening, Constable. Or afternoon, I guess it is. Well, as you know, I'm a stranger in this fair city. And, back home, I have to say, police don't have that good a name for helping the regular people, you might say. I was curious to see how it's done here.
I might not be typical. I was raised here.
So this is your neighborhood and not just your beat.
Yes. Yes. You are
Oh, Ellie Fletcher.
Constable Lansing. At your service.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. So,
That doesn't explain why you've been following me. And he has a small smirk, like at the sides of his lips.
curiosity, like I said. This neighborhood interests me. And since you are in it and of it, seems like a good way to get to know it.
You don't mind my saying, word does get around, and since there are not many Americans in the city, I know of where there are Americans. Any reason why? Hargrave House is poking around here, specifically.
Sometimes things are brought to our attention. Sometimes we go looking. And places like this, trouble doesn't always get brought to our attention. That if something happens in Limehouse, it's not necessarily the case that someone's gonna trek up to our posh little house and say howdy. Yes, I am playing up the Americanness far more than I'm talking to.
I mean, he seems a bit amused by it because he hasn't lost the smirk at the sides of his mouth. He just seems a bit amused by you.
Good, let him underestimate me. I like that. But so to do what we do, we need to have what you might call an ear on the street. We need to not wait for things to come to us.
I see. Is there anything that I need to be concerned about? I mean, I
haven't turned anything up. I was seeing if you had found anything, since you're deeply involved in the neighborhood and presumably you would surely hear if there was something going on, since you're known here and talking to people here.
There seems to be something, but
really,
I'm still trying to chase down some rumors.
Hmm. Mind
Would-
telling me what you heard?
The strangest things, apparently. If it brings Hargrave House here, would you be amenable to sharing information?
Well, you know what? That might not be a bad idea.
Sorry, I saw the chat. And yes, that is what he's jonesing for.
You know, there are worse ways to spend time. Ellie's not by any means taking him seriously, so to speak. But you know, maybe we comparing notes might be a good idea. And obviously I don't want to interrupt your rounds any more than I already have.
I will be off my beat this evening, if you want to discuss things over a pint.
Sounds good. Yeah. Tell me you're local and I'll see you there. I say, hoping it's not the dog and whistle, because boy, that could get awkward.
They
It doesn't seem like a
know
Bobby's
me.
local, though.
They know me at the Dog and Whistle. I don't really want to go there. They might get the wrong impression.
Hmm.
This is Chop Talk. I mean, he's getting real and he's getting red.
I've been around the area enough. I might suggest someplace. Uh, as I completely dry up on all pub names I have ever heard in my entire life.
Make up something. It's fine.
Yes, just Shepherd's Knoll?
Shepherd's Knoll. I've not been, but it sounds agreeable.
Beer's good.
Then it's fine. After dusk, then.
Yeah.
I will see you there, Miss Fletcher.
Looking forward to it.
And he tips his hat, and he goes on his way.
And I will stroll off to Hargrave House in a thoughtful mood.
Back to Felix. Oh, wait, hold on. Excuse me. 7. For your 7, how are you feeling, Ellie?
I think a little bit conflicted, because it's kind of nice to meet somebody who's not a Hargrave House lunatic.
Finally, someone normal, says Ellie.
Normal in big air quotes. What?
The werewolf cowboy is like, finally, somebody who's
Oh, wait. No. I love what you put in the chat. Condition. Is this a date?
We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
I got that. Damn it. I love this. I love this for Ellie. Oh, damn it. Okay. Sorry. I got with that. Oh, my God. Oh, Felix. I have to try to figure out how to give you a clue to resolve this thing with the
2
bet.
clues, in fact.
The mastermind thing's completely different.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, goodness so gracious. Oh, you know what? There's a very good clue in here, but I don't know the meaning, unfortunately, and I don't have my book handy to find out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let's do the break because we're on the hour. So I'm gonna do the first break, and then like I will look up my thing because I'm not prepared for such a freaking great roll. Damn you! And then like we'll come back and then we'll resolve your roll as well as like figure out the mastermind clue and all other junk that I need to resolve. Thank you very much. And then we'll close out day phase from there and then go into dusk and then do the full out like do you guys want to answer questions and stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Can I just have a brief scene with Nora?
Oh yeah.
Doing the investigating thing
Oh yeah, sure.
before we go into night because she has to go to sleep at some point or the other.
Okay, sure. Do you want to do that before break or after?
It's fine by me to do it after.
Okay, yeah, we'll do break first and then we'll go into the Felix resolve as well as the Nora and Mordecai scene. Yeah, cool. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, so we are back at the Dog and Whistle, and I think as you challenge Lin Bohai, he's looking at the cards, but then the camera sees you doing your dice, in your hand, and like the clack, clack, clack of your dice, and the sounds and your voice, and like, you're making this bet, and we see Lin Bohai's face as he's considering your words, and like the weight of what this would mean. We hear the voice, a familiar voice, of someone who brings in a cart of, like, you smell it first before you actually see it, like the overwhelming smell of gardenias, and that is your clue for the, hold on, let me go ahead and put this in, the clues for Limehouse Lurker. Copious amount of gardenias. A copious amount of gardenias brought into the Dog and Whistle. You smell them because they're suddenly starting to be put around the place, and you hear the wonderful tones of Laurel Walton. Yes, Miss Pemberton Potts thought this would be a wonderful decoration to be able to spruce up the place. Over there, and here. And she puts one right on top of your place at the table, Felix.
Over my head?
Yep. And she'll look down and she'll say, "Oh, Lynn, I see. Are you in the middle of a wager?" And he'll look up at her like and wordlessly kind of nod, and she'll just kind of consider the table, and she'll look at each and every face. Well, as always, consider your chances. A sure thing is never a sure thing, and promise of more can never be enough. Perhaps where you stand is best. And she will place on the table. So she places a bouquet of begonia, oleander, lavender, and foxglove on the table in front of Lin Bohai.
And is that the mastermind clue?
It is.
Okay.
And he looks down at it and says, "I see. Well, you've always been full of good advice, Miss Walton. I think I will take what winnings I have and appreciate what luck I've been given. This is wonderful. And he will bow to you, Felix, and say, I remember, my friend, and I can only hope that find out what has happened to him. I will take what I've gotten today and use it wisely. I thank you. I thank all of you. And he looks around at the table. And go well. And Laurel will just look inexorably at all of you and say, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Freshens up the place, doesn't it?
Felix is watching Lynn as he walks away, and there's a quiet satisfaction on his face. One would expect with all this setup, with all this pageantry, that he would be frustrated, annoyed. But seeing the humble sailor walk away, knowing when enough is enough, there's just a small happiness there. And then Felix remembers where he is and what he's supposed to be doing, and he puts on that sneer again and looks up to the lady. Well, it's not my place, but it certainly does fit to make it at least a little bit more bearable in here.
I'm glad you think so.
Thank you for the gift.
You're very welcome, Mr. Ocasio. And she will nod and then take her leave.
And Felix will look as she walks away and then begin another deal.
Exactly. All right, so as I type this dang god thing in,
yeah, gonna pull up my handy dandy book of flower language here and just figure out.
I will type it in because unfortunately, like, for whatever reason, like, the PDF would not let me copy the thing. Oh man, I'm just like so mad. But anyway, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and type this in. Mordecai, do you want to go ahead and set up like what this scene looks like with you and Nora?
Yeah, I think I will have gathered her wherever she was, maybe in the garden. She was a gardener, right?
Did you warn her against touching that wonderful plant?
The flower pot, yes, I warned her. Of course I did. And I hope she listened. If you didn't, well. But
she will say, well, I really didn't have a choice. When I went to help water the other plants that were there, that one looked as if it was about ready to, well, if a plant could punch, that one looked as if it was ready for a fight. So I was not going to get near it. No.
Yes, I think you've had enough of this plant already. Anyways.
Yes.
Good. Will you come with me? I would like to show you my lab. I have some alchemical research to do, and I think you might find that interesting. As I understand it, you have an interest in these things, and as I also understand, you have sort of a talent for these things.
I have done some experiments as well as done research before when I was on a trip.
Yes, I'm quite aware of what happened with your research and your experiments. That is why I would like for you to I would like to advise you to do this a little more safely. Heads up, we all make mistakes when we start out with this. One day I will tell you about mine, though not today.
Oh, all right. So what will we be doing today?
Well, and I will tell her about the miasma and show her what I gathered in the parasol while leading her into my lab.
You were able to gather this with the parasol.
Of course.
Ooh.
That was not a magic thing. That was just using what I had in hand.
Should
It
I
is.
should I get one myself? Would it be a useful tool?
Well, and she can see that the very pale skin is slightly reddened. I use the
I
parasol mostly for protection from the sun, but if you want to have a parasol,
well,
I guess.
I garden a lot, and I have, well, not only, I mean, she has pale skin too, but she'll point out that, like, not only does she have a hat, but then I also have some salve that I use to relieve some of that burn. Would you
This
like
is not,
some?
thank you for the offer, but this is not natural. This cannot be protected by the sun, I'm afraid.
Oh, all right.
As I said, I have made mistakes myself. What I would like to show you here, you have studied, you've said, let me tell you about the Hermetic method. The Hermetic method is centuries old. It takes a lifetime to study such things. It works with symbols and similarities. And the coalescing sympathies between things that are similar. This is very strict. It is very precise. You have to study for months to even do the smallest experiment. It is also indescribably boring, and we will not do any of these things. No. Alchemical experiments are a little like, let's say, like cooking, almost. Yes, because you need to have an awareness of the recipe, of the way things go together. But beyond that is always an art, and will always need to come from yourself. So you will not do the same thing I do, because you're a very different person. But we'll start with the same ingredients and the same processes. But the finer points always need to come from your own spirit, your own soul. I'll always speak about spirits. Please do not bother mine. They are very dangerous. And I think then they can do the experiment thing and stuff will give various fumes and smells and things like that. Yes. And Mordecai will show her this is a burner thingy, and I don't have that. This is a lembic and whatever. Yes, like just like the basic procedures.
And then it's like, we close out of that particular scene with, like, maybe some exclamations and some sparks from from your lab or whatever, but it is what it is. And yeah, we close out a day phase. Just to make sure that I'm caught up. I see that there is, like, identified.
I think we are missing a mastermind clue.
Okay, I will give you that. Before, let me see.
We also have 2 TBD clues on the Limehouse Lurker.
While you're figuring those out, I will pick out one of the mastermind clues to enter into the mastermind list. So go ahead. Let's see, what were we looking at for? One of them's from a vulnerable scene, so you two can figure that out. And then Ellie's clue from the quickening. So yeah, was sniffed out when Felix was spontaneously bleeding. So yeah, I mean, like, you gotta figure out what those clues are. But yeah, so did you want to, as part of dusk phase, when we enter into dusk phase, did you want to answer questions?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and just pick out a doodad. Mastermind clue.
We had some idea when we're doing the vulnerable scene about how that might relate to the vampire things. Okay. Right? Kathleen, Ellie? I totally forgot what they were. So. I think we had an idea when we were talking about that.
Did we?
That's why we put it there and not on the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about you, I think, and your past experiences with monsters, something like that.
I mean, we talked about the ghosts.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know that we approached anything specific that would be a good clue in that conversation, but I've decided incidentally that what I sniffed out when Felix was bleeding was that in addition to the blood, there was a smell of incense.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and throw that in there.
Which is not what you expect to smell when somebody starts spontaneously bleeding in the street.
No. But I will say it's like, because throwing that in there as a clue, because like, Sparks dusk phase, which, what did we start dusk phase with?
Oh, I know. At least I don't have a condition. Well, no, I do have a condition now. Oh, bugger. I was gonna say I didn't have a condition until that conversation.
I mean, does it really affect you? Not really. I mean, or does it?
Yeah, conflict. But should I do we want to answer the question first, or should I be doing the
do the quickening
roll
first?
Okay.
Because we have a structure for this kind of stuff. So yeah, any playbook moves or custom moves that are resolved during dusk phase.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yep.
Composure sensitivity, if I believe.
Yeah. Which are 0 in both cases, because I did not take the quickening into account when I was deciding how to lay out my stats. So
some people don't. So I mean, it is.
I mean, fingers crossed. 7.
Drained.
Yep. Okay. That could have been worse. That could have
been way worse. So yes. Alrighty. So you've got drained. Okay. Paint the scene on Hargrave House for now. The salon. What do you see in this room that makes it the most comfortable spot in the entire house? And don't feel shy about putting your answers in that cell in rooms of Hargrave House. What do you see in this room that makes it the most comfortable spot in the entire house? The salon.
There's a big chair with leather upholstery and carved wooden legs and armrests. It's just the best chair in the entire house. It's big, it's comfortable, you can sit in any position, and it's just right. And there's only one of them.
There's a fireplace, and it's a very good fireplace. It's not drafty. It's just the fire is always just right. The crackles, always weirdly cheerful. yeah, the wood smells good, but you don't get much smoke. You don't get any smoke in here. And nobody's ever burned themselves while refilling the wood or something. Not even smudges on the clothes. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weirdly beneficial or weirdly benign.
There's a good-sized window, but it has double curtains. There's a sheer layer for when you want sun, but not too much direct sun, not gonna glare into your eyes or fade the furniture or what have you. But there are also long, heavy velvet drapes when you want more privacy, more quiet, keep the sun off Mordecai, uh, etc. So whoever's in the room can customize the light coming from the window to just what they want in that moment.
All right. So consider whether you want to answer a question. So both questions or just one of them, whichever. You have 7 clues, or more than that, hold on. For is the vampire young or old, which is a 4 complexity. You have 9 clues, that you can play around with. And then for the miasma of Miswell Hill, which is a complexity 2, is the miasma generated by human hands or something non-human at work? You have 3 clues that you could play around with. So you can choose to answer one or both questions this dusk. So what would you like to do? Does anybody have any theories that they want to bandy about?
I do.
Okay. So what are we
For
playing with?
the vampire.
Okay, vampire. Young or old?
Is it possible to do both?
What do you mean?
I think that it is an old vampire in a young body.
Well,
Yeah, well, we know it's a child's body.
yeah, we know it's a child's body. So like
So
you're basically describing like what kind of vampire is it in that particular body? Is it like an old established vampire in that young body?
It is an old established
Okay.
vampire in that young body. I think with the crude drawings of a Roman phalanx in an unusual place is maybe the memories of that drawing of just the Roman phalanx, perhaps old military knowledge. The powerful smell of incense is related to just the finery that this vampire was used to in the golden age. And then I was going to say the spiral of blood hanging in the air is its true form.
Ooh.
That it's sort of like this body hopping. It is literal bad blood.
Oh, nice.
And then we could also clue that into the half coagulated blood, as this thing wasn't in the body entirely, so it just kind of splorched its way. It left a little bit of a residue into securing a body.
Okay. I mean,
and for that matter, it could well be that there's blood left over because this body is small, and so the vampire's greed for blood may have overwhelmed what could fit physically in the body.
Yes. Eyes bigger than its stomach, so to speak.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So that would be it. We could also say that that's the shoes spattered in blood, just like eating. Like, yes, this is a good. Oh no. So that brings us to 5 clues. Do we want to try rolling 2d6 plus 1, or do we want to try looping in other clues?
I wouldn't mind looping in something else. We still haven't decided what came from Ellie and Mordecai's scene.
Or do you want to save that for the...
Maybe it had something to do with ghosts and possessions or something? Because, I mean, we can make the clue fit the crime, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, like this is just the like, is it old or young, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, like, do you want to use it for this, or do you want to wait to use it for the resolution question? That's the thing.
Good question. That's a good point. Do we want to roll with +1 now? Or do we?
What's the
I
I'm-
wouldn't
worst
mind
that happens if
a-
it's a +1?
I mean, like, sorry, like I know Kathleen and Mike have been in my series before. They are so panicky.
Yeah.
bear in mind, I was part of the group that managed to fit 16 clues into a 18 clues into a
Oh.
Brindlewood Bay theory.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Because they're
Okay.
cray-cray. I mean, like, they're just
That's a
insane.
lot of clues.
Well,
Okay.
we'd failed on a theorize roll. It had gone
They panicked.
in a
Yeah.
previous
Mm.
two-shot,
Okay,
and it
well-
had gone very badly.
Well, we'll fit one more. The gardenias represent it's a ritual that this vampire has whenever it takes over a new host. Gardenias represent innocence, purity, representing the vessel, and then also new beginnings. So
Oh.
it is a new phase of this vampire's life. Maybe it's part of how the possession works. Maybe it's just a quirk that they need gardenias when they start new, when they move into a new place.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that. Yes.
Okay.
Let's do
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
So that brings you to the +2.
Yes.
Okay. So who's rolling?
Not it.
I mean, again, like,
Well-
I will accept one player, like, one player, one die each.
I am willing to roll one die.
Sabine?
I want to do the miasma roll, so I.
Oh, fair,
I mean-
fair.
I'll roll the other die if Mike rolls one.
Thank you. All right. Please roll well.
Okay. Got
Okay.
8 plus 2, so we're good. We're
Yeah.
good. We got a nice clean 10.
Okay.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Good.
So that is an old vampire. So for answering the question, yay. Okay. So let me go ahead and plop in the next question. So, complexity 4. All right. So now that you have answered, you go ahead and like mark those clues as used. So this way you know what you've done. What you've done. So the next question is, if it is old, where is the vampire's nest? Complexity 4. You're going to resolve the threat by infiltrating its nest and destroying it or convincing it to leave London. So you have two options. You don't have to necessarily completely kill it. You just have to, decide how you're planning on resolving this. All right, so this is in complexity 4.
Oh, violence is on the table. Violence is very much on the table.
Cool.
Goodness.
Love it. Also, Felix making a bet with the vampire. Could see that.
I mean,
could see
you could
that.
do it too. I mean, like, again, you can convince it to leave London, like, via a bet. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's just really up to you.
Whoa. Hold on. Why don't I just make it a servant? Why don't I make it a follower, a worshiper?
Amazing. We'll see if that's going to be possible.
Oh,
see.
man.
We'll see. I don't
Cool.
know.
Love it.
We'll
I'm
see.
just picturing Felix just collecting threat after threat. Why is the miasma of Miswell Hill hanging out in the corner of the Dog and Whistle? Oh, that's because it likes. That's because it likes Felix.
Yeah.
It brings the room together. You light it up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, because
Love it.
basically, sorry, Mike has had a bad example or a good example from Jack, who played the Undeniable in the last series he was in. So anyway, oh my God, amazing. Yeah, but that was also by virtue of the custom move that Jack made. So, anywho. You've answered that particular question. So now, again, it's old. Where's the vampire's nest? So you have a way to try and resolve that threat. So let's go on to the miasma.
Yeah,
Is this by human hands or is it something non-human at work? Complexity 2. You have 3 clues.
I have 3 clues, and
How do you make it work?
I think it's. Oh, yeah. I think I want it to be. I want it to be a human, but I can't make the case for a non-human easier. So I think I'm going with. No.
If you want it to be human, I don't think it's too hard to
Yeah.
make it human.
No, it's not. No, let's make it human. It's a human person, and I think that's it's someone who fancies themselves, at least an alchemist. Maybe he is competent. Hard to say for now, but I think the rainbow sheen is very clearly an alchemical mix that has created this.
Yeah.
And the bottle of gin with the strange odor, that must have been where the rainbow sheen stuff had come from, right?
Right. It was a gin bottle that had been repurposed to transport.
Yes, exactly. This is
Yeah.
not a super, maybe doesn't seem like someone who's super professional, but on the other hand, gin bottles are a very useful thing.
And easy to get hold of.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. And I think the fragment of a poem penned by an opium addict, I think, and this is a bit of a stretch, but I think this is like alchemists don't use normal words, right? Because you have to disguise your recipe.
Nice.
And
that's
So
excellent.
it's coded.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
coded.
I
It's
love
absolutely
that.
coded. This is a code for an alchemical mixture, right? It's not. I don't think Mordecai understands it, but he knows that it's code because that's how you do it. You don't write it out like
you don't write it out straight, because if you do, then you're caught. But I mean, like if you use poetry or if you use some kind of like like
cookbook or something.
Yeah, exactly. Then it is, as you said, like to Nora, it's like cooking, but they didn't want to make it that obvious, so they used poem.
No.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing.
So I'm going.
So all 3 clues.
+1, right? Yes, all 3 clues.
Okay, great. So that's +1.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let's see if that was too old. That's a 7. It was not.
Okay. All right. So that's human. Give me a second. Let me pop this in here. Human in origin. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully I copied this right. Apologize. Okay. Okay, so that's been answered. Question is, if human in origin, what dastardly scheme is behind the emission of the miasma? Okay? So you're going to resolve the threat. It's a complexity 6. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated. You're going to resolve the threat. Sorry about the weirdness, but it doesn't seem to like THs. Resolve the threat by freeing Miswell Hill from the miasma and the influence of the forces behind it. If the threat is eliminated, the hunters will gain a lab notebook explaining the source and nature of the miasma as a reward.
Ooh, shiny.
Shiny, shiny. Exactly. So that's a complexity 6. Okay?
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So. Yeah. So. But those are your questions for resolution. All right, great. Great work. Okay. I love that explanation of like the poem clue. That is brilliant.
Yeah, that's
star
really
for that before I
very
forget,
nice.
because I know I'm gonna forget later for sure. Okay, you answered 2 questions. Okay, again, so just go through real quick and then just say that you answered a question like on your dawn question, so this way you guys don't forget. I'm gonna mark it on Jai's sheet, so this way it's like we know we did it. All right. Each player says what their hunter will be doing during the upcoming night phase. Oh, goody, gumdrop. Because we still have time to do that. What do we think?
I'm going to use the beacon in the dark move.
Okay.
Ooh.
Love that move. Okay.
Where is the vampire's nest?
Yeah.
Going back to Jenny Johnston's Limehouse and trying to track, I guess just going through the streets of London to try and find the central overlap between the Limehouse School, the Dog and Whistle, and the Opium Den.
Okay. So central location. Okay. So you're going to try to triangulate yourself.
Do some legwork. Yeah.
Okay.
And I am also going to use a playbook move.
Okay.
As cruel as the harlot's curse. I'm going to go indulge my vice alone in the dark and seedy underbelly of London. And
Are you going to stand up, Constable Lansing?
oh, that's a point. I think I am.
Okay.
Which is going to cause potentially interesting things down the road, because I planned to go meet him, and then I thought about, okay, is this a good idea given the interactions that some of my associates have with this individual? So
whoa. When has peer pressure ever bothered Ellie? Come on now.
Oh, it's not the peer pressure, it's the what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? It's am I letting myself get swept up? and trying to decide. Oh, no, wait a second. Is it more fun to go on the date?
I don't know. You have to tell me.
Date. Do the date.
Yeah.
Come on, do the date. Let's
Do
have
the
a bit
date
of conflict.
because if the threat shows up, there's a non-hunter involved, and you might have feelings for this non-hunter.
I love it if you have feelings for this non-hunter that I'm playing with. He's my prey, so we are going to have some conflict here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's do this.
Okay. Let me also ask too, like Mordecai, when you do Beacon in the Dark, are you jonesing for which particular threat are you going to be searching for?
I'm taking Felix, I think.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Buddy cop.
So,
buddy copping. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're doing the buddy cop. I think I'm the bad cop. But I'm also sure that in reality,
unfriendly cop
Felix
anyway.
Felix is the bad cop.
I'm the bad influence cop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really surprised like Felix is willing to do this, considering it's like, Felix could be targeted. And considering it's like the little blood burst.
Are you using Felix as bait?
That's true.
100%.
That's very true. Okay, gotcha.
I'm taking Felix because a threat will appear, and I'm not super good at physically.
You don't have to outrun the threat. You just have to outrun the hunter next to you. Absolutely right.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm pretty sure that if this threat shows up, Felix will just seduce it, and then that's gonna be fine.
Maybe invite it to a wager. Be like, whoa. We can talk this over a drink.
I have faith in Felix.
Okay, cool. All right.
And if he doesn't seduce it, he will annoy it more than I do.
Lovely. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think since Felix is coming, we might as well go after the boring one, like the vampire.
Sorry. I mean, like, it's not as good as, like, when you did it by yourself and, like, went after the, in the resort. Sorry.
We could we could walk the streets and try to find, because this is man-made, people are involved, someone is profiting off of it. So if we follow that to find the person who's responsible.
Well, we'll see what Beacon in the Dark brings.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, again,
exactly.
like, it depends on what the role is as
Yes,
well.
yeah,
Ooh,
exactly.
okay.
So anyway, let's see. Janice Mouse prompts. Nobody had any, so that was good. Okay.
No.
Introduces the unseen. So let's see what kind of fun
Oh.
unseen that we have tonight. So we're going to do the Empire Club, okay? The Empire Club is situated in a grand townhouse just off St. James's Square. Membership is popular among young aristocratic sons of lower birth order, many of whom have traveled to or profited from holdings abroad. Select invitations have been granted to those of less esteemed breeding, who have managed to make their mark and a small fortune overseas. It boasts card games till the early hours of the morning, cooks from the four corners of the world, and plentiful bedrooms for those far from home or avoiding their family. Tall tales and business deals alike are shared over brandy and cigars. Paint the Scene is for everyone, of course. Prompt 2 is for Sabine. Prompt 3 is for Kathleen. And prompt 4 is for Mike. Okay? And that is our unseen. We're going to take... All right. So, paint the scene for the Empire Club. Beyond the wood-paneled walls and the leather armchairs, what signs of masculinity and power are on display here? And remember, the point of putting stuff into the cells is for you to remind yourselves, like, all the details that you can use later for Echoes in the Night. All right, for that XP bonus. So, what signs of masculinity and power are on display here?
I think it's trophies.
Trophies.
Like these immense golden cups carved with whatever phrases, champion of the golf tournament of whatever, best rower in Eton, what have you, right? These are all pretty meaningless actually, but they are very elaborate. Like the trophies themselves, it's about the look of the trophies, not about what they're for. They're for bullshit, but if you're rich, if you're a noble, and you have a trophy for not wetting your underpants in 5 hours or something. Sorry.
There's a lot of art of subjects that, were they not done in such fine materials and with such skill, would be considered obscene. But they're not inappropriate. They're classical subjects. They're artistic explorations of the human body. They're the sort of things that you can get away with displaying if you're male and have money.
Dude, you're on mute.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Ah! The whole place stinks of whiskey and cigars, the fancier, the older. Some of them don't even like it, but it's kind of the posturing. It's the thing you do. And they make sure that you know how old whatever it is they're drinking or smoking is, or where it comes from, or all the lengths that they need to go through to get it.
Amazing. So, let's start off with Mordecai and Felix, the dynamic duo. So, Mordecai, when you use Beacon in the Dark, what does it look like? And what are you calling forth?
Yeah, I think what it looks like. So I think, let me check what the move actually says, which I should have done before, but didn't. Oh, okay. Cool. So I think when I move through the streets of London, I will occasionally just throw one of my entities out. It will take a little with it, the blood mostly, but sometimes just you will smell. And this is useful since I think Mordecai's going for the vampire here. So he lets them take a little bit of blood with them, just also to attract this, and just sends them out. And Felix, if you're with Mordecai, will see occasionally these streaks of pale light or refractions just going out, and you might be able to smell a little whiff of blood when that happens.
Felix is intrigued.
Mhm.
Most people, almost everyone that he's met, doesn't do something like this.
Yes. Well, and Mordecai is totally unfazed by this whole thing. He will make whatever small talk you make with Felix.
Oh,
probably
he's just making small talk while this is happening.
Yeah,
Just
of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I thought it was sort of eyes closed.
No.
Just very casual.
No. I mean, I guess it's easy from the way I understand Felix to get Felix to bear the brunt of the talking while the small talk is happening. So, and he doesn't listen maybe to every word that Felix is saying, but I mean, also sometimes you might get distracted because Felix is a very engaging person.
So your assistant Nora is adapting well.
Oh, yes, quite. She is exceptional in a lot of ways.
Exceptional in the spewing gobs of blood down the streets of London sort of way, or?
No. That would be a little too advanced, and also now most people do not have the companionship that I have.
Oh.
You must have noticed them, Felix. Oh, or maybe not.
The particulars, no. As far as I'm aware, you keep to your room that smells odd and has odd noises from time to time, but everyone's allowed their own evening.
Well, Felix, how's that different from your room, actually, honestly?
Mine is a cultivated mess. Yours, does it have a purpose?
Of course it does.
That only you know, your design.
Yes, of course. Well, I mean, I do not want to bore you with the purpose of this room. It is chemical in nature and very scientific.
You're right. I wouldn't be interested.
I know.
At all.
What is your result of the roll?
I should roll.
We will vamp for the rest of the night.
I know. But as much as I love your vamping, I really wanted to know the result of the roll.
Let's see, it's a 9.
Okay. On a hit, you are immediately confronted by a threat or personified danger related to the threat. You may ask them 2 questions from the list below.
Okay.
What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
All right. As you're walking along in your vamping Felix. God dang.
My room's not dirty. Yes, it is. Well, so is yours.
Oh my God. I think, oh my God. I think, you two are like just talking with each other, and it's just like a really great back and forth. We see
Mine's dirty in a better way.
We see the gas lamps near you. And you two are not even paying attention to the gas lamps. We see them slowly wink out and then come back on, flick back on really quickly. And then they're kind of approaching you. And as it gets closer, then this shadow kind of appears and takes the form of something that looks like a swirl of a spiral. It's not blood necessarily, not just yet, but I mean it is a swirling shadow of smoke that could be perceived as something left over from yeah, like just from like from a factory or something like that. But
Mhm.
it is staying stationary as it like comes across like the sky and then like stays in front of you two. Like, and then like you're looking at each other, but then like you see this movement in front of you out of the corner of your eye, and then like you see it in front of you now.
Oh, good evening. I see.
That's not you.
No, that's I think that's a vampire. Can you please tell me where your lair is? We were speaking of rooms. I'm very curious about yours.
Do you want to give me the two questions and then I can answer?
Yeah. Okay, and then I would ask it. Also, I am very curious about it. Being like you, so old, so experienced, there has to be something that frightens you, right? And I imagine it's not the church. Or is it?
I think the first question it answers with the lair thing. Gonna resolve the one question in this particular segment, and then I'm gonna answer it in the second question in the next one. But I mean, I think this one is like where the swirl of blood gets faster, well, like blood shadow, whatever the heck it is, gets faster and faster, and it zips up. And if you watch, then it kind of coalesces into like this kind of like stormy cloud swirl, and then it descends on you both, and then like it kind of encompasses you, and then maybe Felix is still talking, who the hell knows, you can't tell because it's like his voice starts to get like really distant and dissonant because it's like
is it raining? It's no, it's in my mouth. It's disgusting.
yeah, exactly, like you start like not hearing him clearly.
Just going on. Yeah.
Just going on, exactly. And then I think, let me just make sure that this clue is not already in there, because if it is, I'm gonna be upset. No, it's not. Okay, good. I think you're going to hear it's like a susurrus, like whispers. It's like you're hearing, instead of Felix's voice, it's like it's being overlaid by something else. And perhaps like in your studies, Mordecai, like you've heard this language before, and you've heard this speech. I'm just gonna write it in here because it's like it's gonna. I'm finagling the clue a little bit differently. Sorry. You hear the language. You hear like ancient Sumerian language whispered as you see a runic clay tablet in your vision. Like it's like the cloud has started to form, and then like again overlaid you, and then you're hearing this whispering, like kind of in your ears, and it's like the cloud is like kind of parted and given you this vision of the runic clay tablet, and it's like what is being said is what is on the tablet, but maybe you don't quite understand exactly what is on it.
No, I should have. I studied Akkadian, not Sumerian. More's the pity.
Well, fuck, So there you go. So that's the answer to your first question, and then I'll come back and
cool.
Address it. The next question in the next segment. All right, and then let's see. Next unseen. Helps being in the right. Sabine. A boisterous game of cards is played by some of the young bucks. Amidst the bluff and bluster, how do we see the differences between those with great wealth and noble blood, and those with only one or the other?
I think it's a lot of this is in the way they dress and in the way they carry that dress, because those with wealth and noble blood, they don't have to give so much care to their appearance. They wear things that are not threadbare, but things that have been worn before, things that might not be very fashionable, shoes that are a little scuffed because, but who cares, right? And nobody makes a remark. One of them is running around in a toga for whatever reason. Nobody makes a remark about that. The others, the poor ones, or the upstarts, they couldn't dare. They couldn't dare to move like this. They are very well dressed, all of them, some in stuff that is so carefully stitched and repaired, and others in stuff that just screams, I have money, look up my golden buttons. Yeah.
Nice.
That's it.
Ellie, you head over to the Shepherd's Knoll. Let's do a paint the scene on Shepherd's Knoll. So, this is a watering hole that has a particular clientele. How can you tell that this clientele is for the working class that has possible underworld connections, but aren't overtly so?
Let's see. Perfect place to bring a constable. I love it. I think there are partitions between the tables along the walls such that it is relatively easy to find a spot to tuck into a corner where you won't be easily seen or overheard by others. So it's a good place for reasonably private conversations.
Can you repeat the prompt, please?
Yes. How can you tell that this particular clientele for Shepherd's Knoll has underworld connections, but not overtly so?
There are alcoves, you said. Just places for quiet conversation.
Yeah, reasonably private conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There are a multitude of exits. There's a back door, there's a trap door, there's an attic that goes to the shop above. Just in case somebody need to make a hasty exit for whatever reason. But it's all for fire safety. It's just something to be concerned about.
And I think you can hear by the way people are very polite to each other. There are no raised voices. People don't get inebriated here. Tipsy, maybe, but not boisterous. This is a very calm and polite place. Nobody's rocking the boat. Everybody's on their best behavior.
Nice. Nice. I think you'll see Constable Lansing here. He's not in uniform, obviously. And, yeah, he's in, well, I guess regular clothes. Whatever that means. I mean, maybe a shirt and waistcoat and regular trousers and such. So, like a regular dude, you know.
So yeah, Ellie's hasn't particularly changed her manner of dress for this. She's in her usual usual long coat and fancy boots. And
So,
I
and he kind of greets you and then just says, "So, is there any way that you can be any more American?"
Don't have a corncob pipe handy. Don't have Let's see, what else would make me more American? Chomping on a roasted ear of corn? I don't know.
I'm surprised you actually don't have a stringed instrument at your back.
Can't say I ever learned to play.
That was going to be my next question. Drink?
Half a bitter, please.
And, he gets the barmaid over and, orders. And, yeah. So, once the drink comes, did you want something to eat? They have some victuals here.
Oh. Wouldn't mind a pork pie.
I don't know this place by reputation, but they could probably do us one. And by some mix-up, they only bring one. I'm sorry, it's the last one. It seems to be a run of the pork pie tonight. I'm not sure why. It's all right. It's all right. And then he kind of pushes it over to you and says, "If you'd like, I can find something else."
I'm gonna split it.
Do you mind?
Nah. Yeah, fine. Been on your feet all day.
Thank you. And yeah, politely split the pie, and you start to eat. He's kind of looking at you, underneath his brows, as he's eating the starting to eat the pie and such. So, did you want to tell me why you were following me? You really didn't explain except by curiosity. And to me, that's not really an explanation.
I've heard rumors of things in Limehouse recently.
As have I.
People are scared. There's something more than just your average level of, violence going on.
A killer I can understand. But what they're telling me, I don't. What have you heard?
People telling each other to stay out of dark places. People turning up missing. Not in an obvious pattern, they don't have a lot in common as far as profession or things like that. If somebody was preying on dock workers, you'd see a cluster. But this doesn't seem to be like that.
No.
What have you heard?
The strangest rumors of a spiral of blood, or something odd like bats, or strange pictures being seen in an alley. It's gone the next day. It's hard to piece together what makes sense, and some will tell me, and I trust them, but you have to admit, understanding how this is put together is not sensible.
Well, we at Hargrave House don't tend to take an interest in the sensible cases.
So I've heard.
But yeah,
Why
blood.
if you don't mind my asking, why are you here?
Why am I here in London, in Limehouse, or in this pub?
And he just kind of smiles a little bit. And maybe all three.
As far as London, I had some bad times in America. Lost someone dear to me. Didn't want to be reminded by being in the places that would, you know, where we done things together, that kind of thing. I thought maybe travel would help. And it has. Limehouse, well, as I said, Hargrave House has heard. When you put disappearances and strange rumors together, that's where you're going to find us. Here, let's just say,
You didn't have to.
yeah, and doing something that that isn't entirely about the job was appealing.
Well, I can tell you I appreciate the company. It is just me. And I can only go by what I'm being told. So, if there is any way to help find out who is doing this, I need to know, Miss Fletcher. Is there
Yeah.
anything you can tell me to help me do my job?
What makes sense to me won't necessarily make sense to you. You're you're a man of much different experience of the world than mine. How open are you to the idea that this isn't just about a person, a human being?
And he just gives you this look of, that never occurred to him before? Detective Inspector Pettigrew said that Hargrave deals with the cases we don't. I can see why. You're asking me to entertain the idea of this not being anyone human? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Maybe a better description would be not human anymore.
I can't imagine this. You're doing this deliberately to, what do they say? Pull my leg. And as he's laughing, you start to see red appear on his shirt.
Oh boy.
Night move.
Yeah. Okay. And I suppose I should tell you what I'm afraid is going to happen.
Yes.
Um,
The vampire is
Making itself known.
correct.
Um,
Making blood rapidly evacuate a body.
yeah. I think I'm afraid that he's going to be both injured and blame me. What am I rolling with, by the way?
You're gonna be rolling with sensitivity for one. But
Okay.
I think in the way that it's worse is the fact that, I mean, like, he's just completely disbelieving of, like, what the hell's going on, that he has no defenses against this whatsoever.
Right.
And like he's going to die. Like, if you completely fail state on this, I mean, like, he's going to die with your face in his vision, thinking that you've pulled some kind of horrible, horrible trick on him.
Okay.
So
Okay. Here we go.
here we go.
9.
All right, tell me how you help him out. God damn it. From the vampire, like, performing this blood magic on him. How do you save him?
I remember that Felix kind of purified or blessed himself with the snuff mixture, and I don't have snuff at hand. But I'm going to a cigar away from a nearby patron, grind it out, rip it open, and use the tobacco to make a cross in the blood on his chest.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah, no. I mean, like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think what you're gonna see, like, as you tear open his shirt and his waistcoat, I mean, like, like, he's like his expression goes from, like, complete, like, laughing to surprise and shock, and, like, he's looking at the blood bloom on his shirt, but also you start to see the beginnings of fingertips starting to go through his chest. And you're doing this, like, cross thing, and then, like, the fingertips immediately retreat, but, like, you start to see the indentations, like, trying to poke through his chest. And he's just like, he's horrified, like, he's starting to scream. And again, this establishment, like, people on best behavior and everything like this.
Yeah, this is a very quiet.
And, like, right. And so, like, people are starting to get a little bit agitated, and barmaid or whomever comes over and, like, will kind of, like, be all outraged, I guess. And he's also, like, starting to freak out himself, because it's like, what was that, and everything. So, but the vampire will have retreated. Okay, he's somewhat okay, but he feels it now. Like, now he feels it, and, like, you have torn open his shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a real stew of he's just been exposed to something supernatural and that he absolutely did not believe in. He's been injured. I did something that is both very intimate and wildly inappropriate in
How
a
do you
public
feel?
place. Oh, wow.
Would you like to think about that while I go on to the next unseen?
Yeah.
Okay. Next unseen. Oh, by the way, it's yours. 2 older gentlemen, Kathleen, Sir Mortimer Holland and Colonel Bulstrode, grumble about the lax morals and deficient work ethic of the younger generation. Sorry. What complaints do they make, and how do we see the envy for their youth? Sorry.
Oh no, this is beautiful. Their main complaint is that rather than, as in their day, young people getting properly married and settling down, that women are invading male spaces. Women are going to pubs. Women are taking jobs for money. And of course, women have been taking jobs for money as long as there have been jobs for money, but not necessarily women that these men would see as women, so to speak. Their position has sort of blinded them to a lot of realities, but they are seeing that women of maybe not upper class, but middle class are doing more in the public sphere. Um, and that this is degrading the morals of the women, obviously, because they're exposed to the rougher side of life rather than being properly in the home, and also that it's degrading the morals of men because they're mingling with women who are no better than they should be. Uh, and they're learning not to treat women with appropriate deference. Um, but through it all, there's this undercurrent of, yeah, where were the women having fun in pubs when I was young? Where were the women that I could talk to without chaperones and observation and being wrapped in the propriety of tea in the parlor? Uh, so yeah, that's the theme of their grumbling.
And as we fade out of that scene, we go back to Mordecai and Felix, enveloped in this like swirling black cloud of smoky, like um, translucent blood smoke. It's very odd, but the vision is there. Like you can see this, you can like almost, and like it gives way. The vision of the runic clay tablet gives way to darkness and then a smell. Your second question comes to you in the form of a smell. What are you afraid of? As soon as you ask this question, Mordecai, you get this smell. Hold on, let me put it in here. And maybe Felix is still talking. Who the hell knows? But you hear murmuring underneath.
It's just he is reacting very viscerally to all of this supernatural stuff. Felix is a very physical, reality-based person, and between the blood in the mouth and now these terrible smells coming out from who knows where, he's not having a good time.
Well, I mean, like it's almost like in this darkness, it's like, somehow you're seeing the shine of like full daylight. Like it's like the glare and brilliance of daylight so bright that you cannot see and you're not even sure where you are within this dark cloud. It's as if the vampire is trying to answer you in a way of memory, and this is an old memory, but it's so sharp and visceral that it can only show you and make you feel it from where it felt it itself. And in this full daylight memory, you smell this horrible smell of charred flesh. What it is afraid of. And you can feel its fear. You can feel its in the smell and in the daylight, you can feel its fear, Mordecai. It gives you this atavistic shiver down your back, through your entities. And then as soon as it comes upon you, it's already gone. And then the cloud whoosh, like disappears. And then you just see Felix in front of you, next to you again. And Felix, what do you have to say as soon as it's gone?
I have been assaulted by every single one of my 5 senses, from the taste of fetid blood to the stench of burning flesh, blinding of my eyes, this inexplicable ick upon my skin. My sense of propriety has even been ruined. Is this what magic is? You can keep it, this whole lot.
Oh, I intend to keep it, Felix. Do not worry. I apologize. I did not understand you were quite so
Truly, a
fragile.
baptism by fire. I feel pity for your student, no doubt.
I doubt you have ever felt anything like pity, my friend, but honestly, this was very informative. And I think, well, the vampire is afraid of sunlight, as it were, which is not surprising, but might be of use, I think. I also think it does not particularly like fire.
Well, glad you were able to get those answers. Felix kind of comporting himself.
Yeah. What was the other one? The word there is. What did I get there?
There was the tablet in Sumerian.
Oh yes,
which is beyond
also,
your Akkadian.
Yeah. I also have. There is a tablet written in Sumerian. Can you speak Sumerian, Felix?
It's a bit rusty. Back in my day, we would have someone to do this. Nowadays, you have to go and study the languages yourself. It's an absolute mess.
Oh, I think we should find someone who does this here as well, or you should at least, because I speak Akkadian but not Sumerian.
Well, there was that. What was it? Some gentleman's so and so, a bunch of well-bred oddities who practice various hobbies.
Oh, that is a good point. I might just take this to the Georgian Dragon.
Sounds like a good place as any to visit this evening, and perhaps I can get myself a bath or at least a washcloth.
They do have rooms for bath, and I do not doubt that you, smiles, can get in even though you are not a member. I could bring you as my guest, of course.
Very kind, very generous. Thank you,
I
Mordecai.
aim to please.
And I guess we're going to the Georgian Dragon then, Mads.
Yeah. Yep.
Mike, Francis Ackerman has recently returned from the subcontinent. As he retires to the bedroom he has taken at the club, how do we see him drop his stern facade and express his vulnerability?
We see the young men going around in togas and just generally gallivanting about, being a mess. There are cheers raised over victories for bets and the like, and people singing praises of Colonel Francis Ackerman, that good old boy who went to the subcontinent and showed those boys what for in the name of Her Majesty. And very stern, dour, strong man nods, says his good nights very sternly, very properly. And then we see him go up the stairs, and we see as he disrobes and prepares himself for the night that in this room of order, of utility, there is a small corner that is set aside to a shrine, a quiet personal memorial. And we see not just a photo of him and fellow soldiers, but other small tokens from the villages, from the towns, from the disparate people that he's met and lost, and sometimes killed personally. He mourns the loss of life. He hears them singing praises of, he went and he fought and he was without pity, all for the glory of the crown. And he just looks at like a small, torn doll, mildly singed, and he weeps. He weeps for life lost in pursuit of glory. He weeps for all that he has done, and that he has to live with it.
Ellie, I think we see the camera pan on you and Constable Lansing being escorted hurriedly out of the Shepherd's Knoll, out the back way.
One
and
of the
being
back ways.
one of the back ways, and basically being encouraged to not come back until you get yourself sorted out. And I think you have to like they've given him some hasty bandages and everything like that, or like cloth to kind of cover up his wounds, and I think like you have to like what's the word, like kind of offer up your shoulder to help support him a little bit.
Support him a
'cause-
bit.
Yep. What? And he's just like incredulous. He's, what the devil happened in there?
You were attacked.
By what? Something
Look at him, very, very level, very deadpan, very straight face. Vampire.
out of my chest. And he like starts to swear, and then he realizes he's in the presence of a lady, and just like kind of like tries to hold himself back.
How do you feel now?
I don't know how to feel, Miss Fletcher. What? This is what you deal with? And he's still holding his chest.
This is why Hargrave House exists. Because there are things that the constabulary is not equipped to deal with.
I don't envy you this position, if you can call it that. How can I protect myself from this?
Well, I have to admit that I have not tangled with vampires before this one. But most sources agree that they dislike holy things. I don't know if you're a church-going man, but some prayers and a cross wouldn't be a bad idea.
I suppose I can speak to my friend over at St. Cecilia's and see what he can do.
That'd be a good idea. Would you like me to assist you getting there or getting home? You still seem a bit understandably
I don't
shaky from your injuries.
I don't feel well. Maybe some assistance to St. Cecilia's would be in order. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he gives you directions to St. Cecilia's Cathedral.
Okay.
Mike's familiar with where that is. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Constable Lansing, St. Cecilia's, okay. And then
and I'm helping before we go out, I'm sort of helping him pull himself together a bit more for being on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. Not quite so
if
bloody,
need be,
maybe?
like dipping a handkerchief in some nearby water butt and sponging down the mess, and yeah.
And he
helping him pull his shirt together.
I think like even in his like kind of like blood loss, I think he's kind of look at you like as you're kind of cleaning him off, and he's just gonna say, "Thank you. I don't understand it all, but thank you."
Yeah. I'm glad you're not hurt worse.
Me too. And we can leave it there. And
Yep.
for you two, where do we see you go after after meeting up with
The George and Dragon.
George and Dragon? Okay, so yeah, I mean, like
Yes.
we can wrap up the
Mhm,
George and Dragon
mhm.
with a montage scene of like
Yes.
of like what you do at the George and Dragon.
We
I think Mordecai sees the butler might be a little busy, so he will go and I think he remembers that someone had won a trophy for being the professor of the day, the juror of some university for ancient history studies. So we will go and look at the trophy and read the name and then inquire where to they might find this person.
Oh yeah, in the what is it, their equivalent of the like not the hot tub, but whatever the equivalent is, for the George and Dragon, like
Mhm.
the
Is there
soaking
a
pool,
bath?
yeah, soaking, yeah,
Turkish bath.
yeah,
Turkish
Turkish bath.
bath,
Thank
right.
you. I couldn't remember
Yes.
exactly what the equivalent was, but yeah, the
Oh,
Turkish bath. And so yeah,
okay.
that guy's lounging in there, and like probably where Felix would go anyway. So
Mhm.
yeah, you can accost that person there, and
Oh,
like
okay.
he'll be willing to speak with you, but you'll have to
Mhm.
listen to a lot of blather first, just so you know.
That's fine. That is fine. I can listen to a lot of blather. I
Yeah.
will. I will make him pray maybe for one day if he annoys me too much, but that is neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well,
Felix is enjoying the Turkish baths. It's quite good.
oh yeah, no, it's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
You can wear a bathrobe, right? You don't have to.
Oh no, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to
You don't
partake.
have to. You don't have. Oh, that's good. Mordecai does not want to disrobe in public.
I mean, like everybody else is doing their thing. I mean, absolutely.
Mm,
You know,
okay,
but you don't
very
have to
good.
if you don't want to.
No.
I mean, they'll try to goad you to do it, but I mean, like you don't have to. Um, but yeah.
I
So
will
that,
tell them I have a skin condition and
which is
that I will
true.
not. Which
In a
is
way.
true, yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if any of them do like try to press the issue, Felix makes a large nuisance of himself to
Oh, sure.
attract more attention.
Nice. Okay, cool. And we close out of that scene because basically the camera pans back and then sees Felix like, basically making a big distraction of himself as the guy regales Mordecai with like not only tales but also like with like the information that Mordecai needs. Da da da. Okay? And then
Yeah.
we wrap out of that
We
scene.
leave. Felix is wearing someone else's clothes that he won in a bet.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which probably are a little bit nicer than the ones that you brought with you. So
Oh, yeah.
it's fine. Yeah.
But the more important thing is that somebody is leaving without their clothes. The whole
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
his stuff was burned. Like
Sure.
they're gonna have
Oh.
to deal with that problem.
Oh God, yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine for Felix. It's always fine for Felix.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are exiting out of night phase and going into dawn.
Cool.
Okay. So
Yeah. Did we get some clues from the things that there are somewhere, right? Just looking. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
yeah. No, I've been trying to put them in as we went along. Yeah. And I realized that I did give you a clue as a stinger, but I forgot to put it into the Mastermind clue list. So I did start to put it into the Mastermind clue list, but I hadn't finished. So I will complete that like later on. So you already did get the stinger clue, but I just have to finish putting that in. Anyway, dawn. No threat was resolved, so you don't get rewards for that. But we will start to answer some dawn questions, okay? So, starting with Ellie. Hunters answered a question. Yes. Hunters resolved a threat. No. Did you experience an echo in the night? Muted!
Dang it! I'd gotten through until now.
Happens to the best of us.
Yep. No. Yeah. A woman in a pub.
All right.
Blatantly him ripping a man's clothes off. I don't know.
Well, mhm. Did you share a treasured memory from the States during an intimate moment with another character?
Yeah, during my vulnerable move with Mordecai,
Oh,
which is
yes.
this same cycle,
Okay. Yep.
I talked about that Indian village full of ghosts.
Okay. Great. Go ahead and mark it. Did you use violence to solve a problem?
No, not really.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
There's violence that alien improvised ritual-ish thingy. So,
Yeah, if you didn't feel like you hit it, then, you don't have to take that point.
yeah, I don't think I did.
Okay, so then take the points that you did get, add them to your advancement track, and then go ahead and, if you did get an advancement, go ahead and pick it,
Yep.
or, save it for next time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm
And,
gonna take a +1 to sensitivity because I think that comes up often enough that it would be very nice if I had something to.
okay. Clear your dawn questions, change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. Okay. All right. Undeniable. You answered a question. You did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I wanted to say that the pitilessness of our colonel in the Empire Club
Mhm.
and the remorse that he feels echoes the comment that Mordecai said, I doubt that you've ever felt pity about anyone in your entire life.
Nice.
And combined with the scene where the sailor was leaving, having resisted the temptation, and just that quiet moment of like, someone managed to get away.
Well, echoes in the night have to happen at nighttime.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Well,
But I like the callback though from the day. That's neat too when you can pull that off. Did you let someone touch you and then make them pay a price for doing so?
only person to do that was the bartender, who was just like, "Hey, buddy," and Felix let slide.
Okay. Did you secretly show a vulnerable side to someone?
I don't know if you would say that the servant of the mastermind recognized Felix's hesitation and vulnerability as the sailor strode away.
I think she saw it, so you can count that point if you want.
Yeah.
That's why she was basically like kind of wishing you a day. So take those points, add them to your advancement track. Clear your dawn questions and change your elective ones if you so choose. Okay? And if you did get an advancement, go ahead and add it if you want right now or wait.
I need to think about it.
Okay, that's fine. Just remind yourself like you need to give yourself an advancement. I think there's a little in used advancements. I love the fact that they added that Ben added that. Okay, Mordecai. Hunter's answers a question. Did not resolve a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Yes, I did. I had this with this trophy thingy.
Yes, you did. You were trophied up.
Yep.
Did you perform a ritual? Hell yeah.
I did. I also met an dark entity.
Yep. Take your
the
points.
Vampire thingy.
Take your points, and then, change your elective dawn
Mhm.
questions if you so choose. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
take your
And we're
advancement
going
if
into a
you get
day
one.
phase. Okay, I will do what Jazzy said about the make love thing, right? Like more of ecstatic thing. That's okay, right?
Yeah, you want.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, boop, 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 boop. All right, I'll leave that on for, let's see. Okay, so Hunters did answer a question, so I'm going to add that to Jazzy's advancements. So remind me that, can somebody let Jazzy know in the Discord chat that we did add a point of advancement because the Hunters did answer a question. So I did add that to her tracker. She doesn't have to worry about that since we went through the whole cycle. So we did record it. And if she did think she got any points for the other things, for the dawn questions, then she can add that too for her advancement track. Okay. All right. So completed that for Dawn. Nobody... Yep, nothing that needed to be resolved for Dawn phase for Playbook, and nobody had any Janus Mass that they needed to bump up. And like I said, I had already given the stinger scene for the Mastermind in a previous episode, so I just need to add that properly to the tracker. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to add. Okay, so given that, we are here for Stars and Wishes. Stars are things that you liked about the gameplay, roleplay, through the session, and then wishes are things, of course, that you want to see for next time or the future. What do you think, guys? Whoever wants to go first.
Nobody liked anything. It's fine. It's okay.
I was gonna say I can start. I'm happy that the Coven got introduced. Very subtle introduction, but I'm looking forward to seeing what these totally not vampires do. I also liked the banter with Mordecai in terms of my room's not as messy as yours. No. Mine is aesthetically pleasing. Yours is just some science nonsense. I kind of like this rivalry. I wanna see where the Felix and Mordecai dynamic goes, because we've sort of defined what Ellie and Felix are, which is this weird buddy cop sort of thing. And then Jailly and Felix are the chaos agents that you send to just make a mess of whatever. I'm still trying to figure out how Felix and Mordecai work out. I love the fact that Ellie went on the date with Lansing and that it did hit the fan, just like we hoped it would. And I do hope that we get to see more of Lansing and this, whatever it is, happen. And then Mads, I appreciate you being able to give more leeway and depth to this like sailor that was giving information and stuff. I can feel that there was friendship, that there was loyalty, and then bringing in the Mastermind for like a flip, because normally we think of the Mastermind as, oh, they're the bad guy, they're always doing something malevolent. In this case, the Mastermind servant was the good angel saying, you don't need to take the bet, you can walk away from this temptation, take the money and run. And I thought that was just a really nice like tweak on how we relate to these servants. One wish that I do have is if you could put the Mastermind servants as side characters in the Keeper on that section, so I could refer to just like the names of the people in discussion. Aside from that, fun session.
Okay.
I can go next. I liked the session. It was fun. I really loved hanging out with Felix. I don't know what Mordecai thinks about Felix. Sometimes Mordecai is even a little hard to understand for me. I think he's kind of jealous and kind of attracted and hates that. Yeah, I think that's basically it. He's kind of attracted, but he hates that. That is not that feeling of I could lose control with this guy, and he hates losing control. So there you have it. That's what Mordecai thinks about Felix. He will rather die than tell Felix any of that, obviously, but you know, yeah. And I also love that Ellie now is having a relationship with Constable Lansing. I need to up my hunting game. So yeah, this is going to be fun because I've gotten really, Ellie and Mordecai have gotten along really well, and I love to have a little conflict there. So yay. And Matt, yeah, this was a fun session. Thanks for running it. I loved all the clues. I loved this cloud of dark, bloody stuff. That was nice. And Felix's reaction to it. That was also fantastic.
Yeah, I had a great time this session too. I love seeing these glimpses of how Mordecai thinks about not only about these terrible things that we're hunting, but also the very calm, methodical approach of, yes, this is how we analyze, this is how we uh this is how we approach and take appropriate protective measures and uh teach Nora better ways of doing things, and just that I kind of want to know what it's going to take to ruffle that calm, to make Mordecai distressed, upset, worried, panicky even. I don't know. I don't it's probably going to take a lot,
I do. No.
but I think it's going to be real interesting to find out what breaks that very measured
Think back to
calm.
the start of the session. We might have a clue.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure the Coven is going to be involved, but I look forward to seeing how that plays out. Uh and I love that Felix's reaction to this horrific experience is just ugh. Not that was terrifying, not we need to take this very seriously, just this full body aesthetic rejection of everything that thing is, of just bleh. It's so Felix. It's so perfect. And I am really interested to see where this is going to go with Lansing, because I hadn't thought that might be a thing, but Ellie's intrigued. He seems like a good man who's suddenly been exposed to all this dark stuff that most people never see and is really not equipped, but wants to do the right thing. And her reaction is somewhere between you shouldn't have to and good on you and poor sweet cinnamon roll must be protected. Which is gonna be
Oh no! Oh no! Well, better not roll badly.
Yeah. Not only has he already attracted the attention of the Limehouse lurker, but my own associate is hunting him just for the fun of it.
This is gonna be bad. I'm just saying.
It is. It is, and I look forward to it. It's going to be chaos.
I mean, damn. I love this list in the chat. I gotta read this out. I'm so sorry. Oh God. Stupid, sexy Felix. Mordecai, probably. Mordecai. We need to kill the vampire because it's a danger to others.
No,
Ellie.
Mordecai is. You need to kill the vampire for whatever reasons. Mordecai doesn't care about the vampire so much. Really.
Ellie,
Okay.
we need to kill the vampire because it's a danger to my new boyfriend. Felix, we need to kill the vampire because it's gross.
Gross. Eck. Do not like it.
Oh my God, amazing. Holy crap. I mean, I really enjoyed today's session because you guys are just like so funny. Just between the banter between Mordecai and Felix was just great. Oh, and I mean, I can't go in order, so I'm just gonna bounce. I'm sorry. So yeah, the banter between Mordecai and Felix, which I had to stop because I needed the results of the roll, but you guys could have vamped like for the entire scene. I mean, that was great. I just enjoyed that so much. But I also enjoyed Mordecai, Sabine, your introduction of the Coven. Like, generally it's supposed to be me that does it, but frankly, I mean, like, you know, I needed to see what your vision of the Coven was going to be like, and like, you know, their whole urbane introduction to it, and I can't wait to embody your Coven mentor. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have lots of fun with this for sure. And yeah. What else? Yeah, just like it was unexpected to have Felix have the ick. over the vampire appearing. I mean, he's already had the taste of the vampire, but even more so now. And it's like, oh no, Felix can't take it. But I mean, this is what he dealt with. I mean, this is what he's dealing with, like, being in Hargrave House. This is the kind of shit he's got to face, along with everybody else. But just such a what is it? Like a gentleman's gentleman, and like, oh, I gotta deal with this shit again. Oh my God. But it's fun, and it's just fun to watch. So I enjoy this kind of energy. Like, so what is it? Not orange cat energy. It's like, I don't know. Lazy cat energy? I have no idea, but it's great. And then like Ellie, I wasn't expecting to do what I did with Lansing, so I mean, it just worked. I don't know. Whatever. When it works like that, it's just great. These are just great TTRPG moments, and I live for that kind of shit. So we'll see where it goes. It may not go anywhere, but all I have to say is better keep rolling well, or well enough, because Sweet Cinnamon Roll might go out the door. I have no idea. Don't know what to tell you. So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, as a player, I'm fully prepared for that.
Oh,
as
yeah.
a character, Ellie will be absolutely furious.
I mean,
when and if that happens.
I don't know.
Servant of the Mastermind, maybe?
I don't know.
Stranger things have happened.
No servant of that mastermind is supposed to play with my toys.
Look now, I mean, you don't know. You don't know. I mean, it could be anybody at this point. It could be anything. Who knows? So.
I mean, Mordecai would like it to be him.
I called dibs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
now.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is mine.
Look, Mordecai, you can't call dibs on every interesting NPC we encounter.
I am not doing that, but this was mine first.
Oh God. I mean, everybody's just jonesing for everybody else. It's like, I love this. I love this. Mine. It's a weird kind of energy, I will say, and I just love to watch it. I just love to see it. You guys are so fun. So yeah, I mean, like, I had a lot of fun today, and like so many different little stars. I mean, like all the descriptions, like all the unscenes were very interesting, and then like, how you tried to call back to them were also fun too, like just to try to find the little nuggets. And yeah, I mean, all the scenes were just great, and yeah, a lot of fun today. So.
And Ellie ripped a man's clothes off in a pub. So.
I mean, it's a trope, but you met it, so you're good. It's all good. Yeah, for sure. And you didn't even have to get drunk to do it. It's all good. Nope, it's great. So, anywho, yeah. Given that, we're gonna enter into a new day. Oh man, yeah, a new day phase for next time. And I will give a new official threat because, like I said, I consider the Coven more of a side thing for me anyway. And I will just introduce something new. So, yeah.
The Coven does not like to be considered a side thing.
Well, I mean, okay, so like I'll have to think about it over the week. I mean, like maybe I'll bring the Coven more to the fore, or maybe I'll consider them.
I mean, I'm fine with whatever. I'm just telling you what the Coven.
I know. Well, we'll see.
We are the biggest threat here.
Are you? Oh, I just can't wait. It's just so delicious. It's like so tasty. Oh my God, I can't wait. I have a list, and okay. I still can never decide, like, until the very last second. I mean, Kathleen knows because I always had indecision problems, like before Brindlewood Bay. So yeah, I'll have the same problem for next week, but I'm looking forward to it. And again, if anybody has any thing to let me know about, like if you're not going to be there for next week, just let me know. And yeah, have a wonderful week. Happy gaming to you all, and I will see you for next time. My gosh, thank you so much.
Thanks for running, Matt.
Yes, thank you.
This is awesome.
This was a great session.
I love it.
See ya.
So